Welcome back to Talking Story. My name is John Minton. We have made it through another reading month, so I was just going to take a few moments, wrap up what I read in June, what I'm going to be reading in July, and also I went a little crazy in the book buying department and just kind of go over what I brought in for my home shelves through the month of June as well. So let's get right to what I wrapped up in June. I did finish Relentless, which is the last book in the Joe Ledger series by Jonathan Maubury. So I'm all caught up now until I think September. Cave 13 comes out, and Mr. Maubury says he had the most fun writing any Joe Ledger book he's ever had writing Cave 13. So I am looking forward to that. I'm not done with my Jonathan Maubury catch-up. I'm moving from this to his zombie apocalypse series, which starts with Dead of Night, I believe. We'll get to that for July TBR. But I did wrap this up. It was a lot of fun. I will say, from reading a Joe Ledger a month for a certain number of months, I'm glad to move on to something else. So I'm looking forward to the zombie apocalypse. But Joe Ledger, always an exciting, thrilling, good time. Also, I wrapped up Warbreaker in my Cosmere catch-up in the month of June. Now, you can tell right away what I'm thinking about the Cosmere by the edition that I picked up of Warbreaker. Everything else you're seeing paperbacks up to this point because I had not read Brandon Sanderson. I was not sure what I was getting into, so I was being financially thoughtful in picking up some paperback reading copies. But by this point, you can see I logged on to Dragonsteel and I bought a leather-bound edition of Warbreaker because this is a beautiful book, by the way, because I am absolutely all in on the Cosmere. I'm taking a little break this month, but then I think the month after July, August, I'll be back, probably starting the Stormlight Archive. I will have a full review of this out coming up, but just as a quick thumbnail, I really enjoyed it. Okay. Also, I completely caught up with Red Rising in the month of June. I finished Dark Age, so I'm completely primed and prepared for Lightbringer to come out in the month of July. That will most definitely be a July read for me. Watching this artist flourish from Red Rising to Dark Age, the fifth book in the series, has been phenomenal to me. It started at kind of a simplistic battle royale feel from book one to this grand sweeping Shakespearean tragedy of a space opera that I just put together my top 10 sci-fi reads of all time. If Lightbringer and after that Red God are going to be what they think they are, this could absolutely be cracking into that list. If you stopped after book three, I implore you to pick up the sequels. This was phenomenal. And also in June, I grabbed Justin Cronin's The Ferryman. Justin Cronin is an author I pretty much by day one now after his vampire trilogy. I just put my full review of this book up, so you can check that out there. I just put a vampire reads list up, and his vampire trilogy, The Passage, is absolutely on that, so you can check that out as well. This is a great sci-fi read. Very different than a space opera, much more personal and intimate, but well worth your time. If you've not read Justin Cronin, you should absolutely pick this up. And also, in the month of June, I don't have physical copies here. I got an early reading copy of Jade Shards by Fonda Lee, ebook, and I have a full review of that up. I really loved it. I have not gotten into the Greenbone saga yet. I have bought the first book. It is on my TBR stack, very close to the top, because I love this group of short stories so much. The full review is up. Check it out. But I will absolutely be continuing into the Greenbone saga, especially after reading that. Also, I got an early reading copy of Silver Nitrate by Silvia Moreno Garcia. It has not come out yet. I just wrapped it up on the last day of this month, June. I will have a full review going up, hopefully right before it comes out on the 18th of July. And no spoilers on that one. Come back and watch the full review, but it will be worth it. I had a little bit of time left over in June, so I grabbed this book. This is a debut book by Micaiah Johnson, The Space Between Worlds. Wonderful sci-fi book about world hopping between alternate realities. You are able to world hop, but the only people that can world hop are people that do not exist in these other alternate realities. So they can do a little bit of a viewing into this alternate reality. And if you in that other world have passed on in some way, you're clear to go, and the person on Earth Prime can leap over and they're kind of mining these alternate realities for things to bring back to Earth Prime. So it's a really interesting conceit. Those that maybe are on the lowest social strata in our modern world are all of a sudden very valuable commodities, because if they're on the lowest social strata here, they absolutely might be in these other worlds as well. And these are the types of people that their life expectancy for one reason or another is not as high as some of the affluent. So all of a sudden they're valuable commodities because they can do this world hopping. Extremely interesting. Multiversal look. It's got a great heart to it, a great love story to it. This is, again, a debut novel. This will absolutely be an author I follow going forward. I do recommend it. Probably won't do a full review because I just won't have time, but I would be real close to 4 stars on it for sure. Definitely seek it out if you're looking for something a little bit different. Micaiah Johnson, Space Between Worlds. Still had a bit left of time before June was over, so just as a palate cleanser, I had a series of comics that were wrapped up. It's 6-issue series. I waited till I had them all. And Dead Boy Detectives. Now, these are characters that Neil Gaiman originally created in his Sandman series. James Tynion has most recently started playing in that sandbox. Other people have tried. I think James Tynion has been the most successful. I believe the series he's doing is American Nightmare, it deals with the Corinthian, and it's excellent. The first 6 series the first 6 volumes or 6 issues is already out. I read that, and the witch Thessaly appears in it, and then she kind of gets abducted, and she's supposed to appear in this. So this is why I picked this up. To kind of follow her. She's always been one of my favorite characters. And if I have one complaint about this, it was very interesting about different cultures' ghosts and why there should be a dividing line between those cultures' ghosts. Like metaphysically, they don't want to cross over into different countries. It was really interesting, but there was not enough Thessaly in this for me, which is why I was following the series. But I did truly enjoy that. And maybe I'll do like a big comic catch-up. I'll go further into this. I'll catch up on all the series I've been reading and kind of give little thumbnail reviews. So that was my June. I had a great reading month. I don't think I had a truly bad read through the entire month of June. BookTube has been amazing to me because I've been taking recommendations from other BookTubers, and it has really made my reading go off the charts, guys. What are some of the books I picked up in June? I went a little crazy, guys. I got a pretty massive stack. I did pick up Empire of Silence, which is book 1 in the Sun Eater series. And I got this because absolutely I'm going to read Lightbringer in July. That will bring that series to a close until Red God comes out, who knows when. So this will probably slide into my space opera slot. I hear amazing things about this series, probably in August. So I went ahead and grabbed this because I heard it was sometimes hard to find a copy, and I was looking at a copy, so I went ahead and grabbed it. So I really can't wait to get into that in probably August after I've caught up with Red Rising. Now, this next series, Rift War, Saga, Raymond E. Feist, some of my favorite reading memories from way, way back in the day. My mom would never say no to me when I wanted books. Magician Apprentice, I saw the cover, I grabbed it, I was hooked from then. Every time a new book come out, we would have to run into town. I lived in a small town, go to the bookstore, grab the new book, and I have not read them since then, guys, but they hold such a special, nostalgic place in my mind. Those were such fun reads for me when I was reading as a younger person. And Alan at Alexandria, Library at Alexandria, is going to have a buddy read of the Daughter of the Empire trilogy, which is written by Raymond E. Feist and Janie Wirtz, and this takes place in the Rift War universe. And this is actually the second trilogy in the Rift War saga. And I went ahead and ordered all three because I think they're going to do a buddy read like for 3 months and go through this entire trilogy. So I can't wait to crack this back open again and see if I love these Rift War books as much as I did back in the day. And while I was feeling nostalgic, looking forward to that buddy read, I realized I did not have copies of the very first trilogy in the Rift War saga by Raymond E. Feist, and I went ahead and ordered these in because I felt like I want to reread. The only drawback about this buddy read is I have not reread the first trilogy before the second trilogy, but I'm going to jump in on this buddy read. And from watching Alan at Alexandria, I don't think he's a big fan of Raymond E. Feist, so this could be an interesting buddy read. But I did have to order these, and I will reread them probably right after this trilogy because, like I say, big nostalgia for me. I loved these back in the day. And I also ordered in First Law Book 1, The Blade Itself. I just can't hear one more amazing review of this book without reading it. This will be on my TBR for July because I just can't wait anymore. Cannot wait to start this book. And it was Father's Day in June, and my lovely family got me this beautiful, beautiful edition of the Dune trilogy. If any of you saw my 10 best sci-fi reads, you know this is number one for me. This sits up on the mountaintop for me, and what a gorgeous set. Beautiful editions. I did not have this on my shelf currently, and I do now. Just a slipcover, sprayed edges, guys. Gorgeous, gorgeous cover art for every book. In pages, different art on the back, front piece, different art on the inside of the dust jackets. This is just straight up beautiful. Love this set. Was thrilled to get it for Father's Day and had a great Father's Day. I hope all of you dads out there did as well. And I'll just set that aside. So, as you can see, I kind of went a little overboard maybe, but I can't wait to dig into all these books. What will I be reading in July? We will be continuing, and I've already started with the zombie series from Jonathan Mulberry. Now, this is not the YA zombie series he writes, Rotten Ruin. This is the Dead of Night series, very adult. And this kind of leads into the Fall of Man, and then the Rotten Ruin series picks up after the fall, and then his epic fantasy picks up 50,000 years after that, and that is what I'm trying to get caught up to and build up to, that epic fantasy, which starts with the Sword of Kagan, I believe is the name of it. But this will be my Mulberry catch-up read for July. I have already started it, and I can see why people think this would be canon for the George R. Romero film. I mean, this is bloody goodness zombie scares from page one. I'm about 50 pages in, really loving this so far. As I said, I'm going to do the buddy read, Daughter of the Empire, and I heard about this through Josh at Red Fury Books. It's being hosted by Alan at Library of Alexandria. And I popped onto their Discord. I can't wait. This is my first buddy read since joining BookTube. I cannot wait. The nostalgia for me on this is huge. And doing it with other folks, I just am excited as all get out to start. Also, in July, as I said, I will be picking up the first book in the First Law series, The Blade Itself. And I cannot wait to pick this up as well after all the things I've heard of it. Two books that I don't have yet, but I will absolutely be reading in July. The first one is Neon Ghost, A Witch's Sin by Daniel Greene. I'm a huge fan of Daniel Greene. What a great booktuber. Amazing comic timing, great videos, always fun to see. I have not read his first two books that are out, so I'm very excited to get this one. I pre-ordered it on Kindle, so I hope to start reading it right on July 4th and have a review out as quickly as I can for you guys. But I'm psyched to read that and see what kind of writer Daniel Greene is. And the other big read for this month, of course, is Lightbringer by Pierce Brown. If this is what I'm hoping it is, this could absolutely be getting on my Mount Rushmore of sci-fi reads. So I can't wait for that. It's a biggie, guys. I think it's 800 pages or so. Comes out towards the end of this month, so I'll probably be working on that into July, into the beginning of August. And if I have any extra time to slide something in there, I did grab the first Discworld book. I'm a newbie to Discworld, never read Sir Terry Pratchett other than the Prophecies of Agnes Nutter that he wrote with Neil Gaiman, because I've read all of Neil Gaiman. But I've never read any Discworld, and I'm very excited to start. So it's kind of a thin book, as you guys probably know. I'm the only one that haven't read this yet, so you guys probably know it's a thin book. So I'm going to slide that in a crack here or there if I have any extra time. But this is some pretty big chonkers when I add in Lightbringer. So there you go, guys. That's what I wrapped up in June, what I plan to read in July, and the books that I brought into my personal library through the month of June. Let me know what you're going to be reading. Let me know what you think of my choices coming up reading here in July. Like, subscribe, join me back here on Talking Story. I am enjoying sharing my reading journey so much with you guys. And like I always say, you don't have to pick up any of these books that I've stacked the table with here, but do pick up and read something. Thanks so much, guys, for joining me here on Talking Story.